Some natural wonders on Earth remain hidden, like secrets that have never been told. We encounter strange lands where the sky and the earth seem to merge into one. Some places appear with an extraordinary beauty, as if defying the laws of nature. Others astonish us with a harsh, pristine grandeur that feels almost unbelievable. These landscapes not only challenge our imagination, but also remind us of our smallness before nature. At times, to reach them, we must cross desolate regions where footsteps have scarcely ever been seen. Today, we will open the door together to the world's most secret natural wonders. Angel Falls is located in an ancient rock plateau of Venezuela, surrounded by dense jungle and steep terrain, with no direct road access and reachable only by small aircraft, motorboat, and hiking. The waterfall is nearly 3,200 feet tall, with water dropping from a cliff top, but mostly evaporating mid-air due to the extreme height and low-level wind, forming a persistent mist with no typical echo sound. This disappearance of water in the air has drawn scientific interest for its unusual aerodynamic effects. The falls were first recorded in 1933 by an American pilot during an emergency landing, though local inhabitants had known and avoided the area long before, without clear reasons. In 2009, geological radar surveys detected an abnormal signal void behind the cliff face, suggesting the possibility of an inaccessible stone cavern. Ultrasonic data also showed irregular echo responses, leading to theories of hollow formations never before identified in ancient rock structures. Lençóis Maranhenses is a protected area in northern Brazil, known for its desert-like landscape, but with heavy seasonal rains that create thousands of freshwater lagoons between white sand dune, a phenomenon rarely seen elsewhere in the world. This region is isolated by surrounding forests and swamp systems, making access by land difficult and requiring specialized vehicles. Though it looks like a desert, Lençóis does not have dry conditions year-round. Instead, it experiences a rainy season that forms temporary lagoons in the sand, lasting from a few weeks to several months. One theory suggests that fish eggs may survive in a dormant state beneath the sand during the dry season. The combination of a desert appearance, seasonal water bodies, and mysterious life patterns has made this location a unique subject for environmental research. Naica Crystal Cave lies about 984 feet underground, shielded by solid rock and high temperature, so it is completely isolated and can only be reached through mine shafts with special equipment. Its giant gypsum crystals, some longer than 36 feet, grew for hundreds of thousands of years inside a sealed chamber where slow-moving groundwater stayed at about 136 degrees Fahrenheit. The cave was discovered in 2000 when workers drilled a side tunnel, changing our understanding of crystal growth under unique geological conditions, and opening the door to studies of ancient microbes trapped inside the crystals. The site is not open to tourists. Research teams must wear cooling suits and limit each stay to under 30 minutes because of near-saturated humidity and high risk of heat stress. Although several surveys have reported microorganisms that may survive in dormancy for hundreds of thousands of years, the full process of their formation and biological role is still unclear. The combination of record-sized crystals, extreme environment, and the possibility of microscopic life has sparked debates about the limits of biology on Earth and beyond. Dargavs is an ancient village hidden in the North Caucasus Mountains of Russia, known for a valley filled with stone crypts, often called the City of the Dead. While the tomb structures date back several centuries, many interior chambers remain unstudied due to steep terrain and unstable vaulted stone ceilings. Some crypts have preserved wood and cloth in near intact condition, suggesting a sealed microclimate with preservation properties not yet replicable in laboratory settings. Gas and radiation sensors have detected fluctuating readings in the central zone, though the values vary significantly between survey missions. Several underground corridors connecting burial clusters remain unmapped, partly due to the incomplete understanding of the full subsurface layout. To this day, Dargavs remains one of Russia's most enigmatic archaeological zones, containing unresolved geological, architectural, and biological elements. Kandovan is one of the few ancient settlements still actively inhabited, yet the origin of its rock-carved structures remains entirely unverified. Cone-shaped volcanic formations were hollowed out from within to create living spaces, but no tool marks consistent with pre-modern technology have ever been found. Some chambers extend dozens of feet into solid rock without visible extraction layers, raising questions about techniques that may have existed and disappeared. Seismic data collected near residential clusters shows unusual resonance from below, suggesting the presence of underground connections that remain unexplored. No complete substructural map of Kandovan exists, and mechanical probes are restricted due to the risk of destabilizing the centuries-old rock. The Iranian government enforces strict preservation policies, preventing deep exploration of a settlement whose origin and full extent remain unknown. Teotihuacan was once one of the largest cities in the ancient world, with a population that may have reached hundreds of thousands around the year 300 AD, but the identity of the civilization that built it is still unknown. Structures like the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon are aligned with key astronomical points, showing advanced cosmic observation skills. A tunnel discovered beneath the Feathered Serpent Pyramid contained thousands of artifacts made of gold, gemstones, and liquid mercury, a rare and toxic substance linked to rituals about the underworld. Also, layers of mica, a mineral not found locally, were found in some underground structures, suggesting long-distance material trade and unexplained technology. The city was built using volcanic rock and arranged in an astronomically accurate layout, forming a spatial design far ahead of its time. Despite its large scale and complex organization, no written records have been found. Waitomo Glowworm Caves is a limestone cave system where thousands of glowworms called Arachnocampa luminosa produce natural green-blue light on the ceiling like a starry sky. These glowworms exist only in New Zealand and use light to attract prey in complete darkness. Underground rivers reflect the glow, creating unique visual effects as visitors travel by small boats in the dark. The cave's geological structure includes stalactites formed over millions of years through limestone erosion. At certain times, when humidity or food conditions change, the glowworms stop glowing and the cave becomes completely dark. Scientific studies show that the glow depends directly on food supply and stable cave climate, making this one of the few caves on Earth with a natural light display that cannot be recreated artificially. Lake Baikal exists like a self-contained spatial layer, where the depth exceeds standard survey limits, and its subsurface structure has never been fully captured by any known digital map. Deep diving equipment frequently ceases operation earlier than expected, not due to clear mechanical faults, but because control signals progressively collapse beyond 300 feet. In certain shoreline zones, surface water freezes as expected, while lower layers abruptly register high temperatures, with no nearby geothermal source to explain them. Among the collected biological samples, several gene sequences have never been identified in any known ecosystem and show mutation patterns inconsistent with surrounding conditions. Despite decades of study, the lake's deepest regions remain marked as inaccessible on global bathymetric models. Baikal is therefore not just an ancient lake, but a transitional zone, still unverified between surface life and an unknown deep biosphere. Hoh Rainforest is one of the wettest temperate rainforests in North America, with year-round heavy rainfall allowing mosses and fungi to flourish across the forest floor and tree trunks. Although limited hiking trails exist, most of the forest remains unsurveyed due to swampy terrain and severely weakened navigation signals. Researchers have reported inaccurate readings on humidity instruments when venturing deep into the core area, with no clear explanation. Climate data collected from independent devices often shows significant inconsistencies, sparking debate within the scientific community. The discovery of microbial species not found in other forests with similar climates has fueled further controversy over a potentially isolated biological system. Danakil is the only known location where 3 commercial weather satellites have returned entirely contradictory readings for the exact same timestamp, a region where data behaves unreliably and resists replication. In several acidic basins, crystallized mineral surfaces can change structure within 24 hours, preventing topographic maps from remaining valid even with 6-hour satellite updates. The highest recorded surface temperatures consistently appear not at geothermal hotspots, but along the seemingly inert outer crusts, implying unknown subsurface chemical reactions. An experimental atmospheric model failed during simulation here due to extreme sulfur and ion density, causing the system to crash in under 30 seconds. No unusual magnetic fields or biological anomalies have been confirmed, yet Danakil remains a zone where natural variability exceeds the limits of current predictive science. Uluru is a massive, monolithic rock that rises from the vast desert of Central Australia, completely separated from any nearby mountain range or landform. Its smooth surface changes color dramatically from deep red to bright orange throughout the day, reaching over 1,100 feet tall and stretching nearly 2 miles across, creating a striking contrast against the flat surroundings. Scattered across its faces are hundreds of natural cavities where ancient carvings and paintings have been discovered, many of which remain undeciphered. Its geographical isolation, unexplained phenomena, and undecoded archaeological features make Uluru one of the most intriguing natural formations in Oceania. The Namib Desert stretches along the western coast of Namibia and is one of the oldest and driest regions on Earth, with many areas completely roadless and isolated from human settlements. Its landscape features towering red sand dunes, hundreds of feet tall, constantly reshaped by strong winds, alongside pale flatlands with trees that died centuries ago and have not decayed due to the dry air. A unique phenomenon found here is the fairy circles, perfectly round barren patches that appear randomly among vegetation with no agreed scientific explanation. Researchers have proposed theories involving termites, plant competition, or underground gases, but none have been fully confirmed. Some soil samples have revealed microorganisms capable of surviving by absorbing moisture from night fog, even without surface water. With its hyper-arid climate, unexplained geobiological patterns, and extreme isolation, Namib is one of the most distinctive deserts for studying life in extreme conditions. Blue Grotto sits along a coastal cliff and can only be entered by small rowboats through a narrow gap less than 3 feet high, and only when the tide is low. The cave was formed by thousands of years of limestone erosion from ocean waves, creating a large underground chamber with a vaulted ceiling and submerged floor. The blue light inside is caused by sunlight passing through clear water and reflecting off the cave floor. But the exact conditions behind this effect are not fully modeled. Visitors must duck to enter, cannot bring heavy items, and are limited in number under management controls. The site was used in ancient Roman times, with remains of man-made structures still visible inside. Some experts believe that climate change and rising sea levels may alter the cave's light intensity, though long-term studies are lacking. Doong Cave is deep in a limestone mountain area and cannot be reached by vehicles. It can only be accessed by hiking through the forest with a trained guide team. It is the largest cave in the world by volume, large enough to hold a 40-story building, with a jungle and underground river entirely inside. Inside the cave are giant sinkholes where sunlight creates floating clouds and a separate climate system. The cave formed over millions of years as underground water eroded soft limestone, creating a complex and massive underground system. Experts have found large, rare cave pearls and recorded strange echoing sounds with no clear origin. The cave supports trees up to 100 feet tall, and some species never documented before, making it the only known cave with a self-contained ecosystem of forest, river, and clouds underground. The Forbidden City was built in the early 15th century and is surrounded by brick walls and a moat about 170 feet wide, creating a structure completely isolated from the outside world. This place was once home to more than 20 emperors, but only about 1/3 of its total area is open to the public today, while the rest remains tightly controlled. During history, many original records about construction techniques, treasure inventories, and underground corridors have been lost or never made public. There are still debates about the existence of escape tunnels and hidden storage rooms that have not been officially documented. Modern preservation efforts face difficulties because modern materials cannot fully replace the faded original lacquer. Only about 30,000 visitors are allowed each day, with strict identity checks, and some internal areas are completely restricted. Socotra is a remote island in the Arabian Sea, geologically isolated for over 20 million years and known for its high number of unique species. One key feature is the dragon's blood tree, shaped like an umbrella, with dark red sap once used in ancient medicine and dyes. The island's terrain includes limestone mountains, caves, dry plains, and untouched beaches, supporting the evolution of plants and insects found nowhere else. Recent surveys have discovered many unnamed species, including some cave-dwelling organisms never recorded before. Local legends claim the dragon's blood tree was used in rituals for immortality or sacrifice, although there is no scientific proof. With no major urban infrastructure, locals still rely on fishing and harvesting native plants, while the island's long isolation helps preserve its ancient ecosystem. Waitomo Glowworm Caves is a limestone cave system where thousands of glowworms called Arachnocampa luminosa produce natural green-blue light on the ceiling like a starry sky. These glowworms exist only in New Zealand and use light to attract prey in complete darkness. Underground rivers reflect the glow, creating unique visual effects as visitors travel by small boats in the dark. The cave's geological structure includes stalactites formed over millions of years through limestone erosion. At certain times, when humidity or food conditions change, the glowworms stop glowing and the cave becomes completely dark. Scientific studies show that the glow depends directly on food supply and stable cave climate, making this one of the few caves on Earth with a natural light display that cannot be recreated artificially. The Amazon rainforest covers a massive area with many zones completely isolated, with no roads or communication signals, and only reachable by boat or small aircraft during acceptable weather. It is home to hundreds of indigenous groups with no outside contact, raising debates about cultural protection versus infrastructure development. The forest formed millions of years ago and has hidden traces of ancient civilizations beneath its dense canopy, with some structures recently discovered using laser scanning. Although considered the most biodiverse area on Earth, many plant and microbial species remain unnamed, especially in high canopies and deep soil layers. Most of the rainforest lies within strict protection zones, limiting access and preventing uncontrolled extraction to preserve its unique ecosystems. Chichen Itza is deep in a tropical forest and was once very hard to reach because of thick vegetation and natural limestone sinkholes. The complex features the El Castillo Pyramid, where twice a year, during the spring and fall equinoxes, sunlight creates the image of a serpent crawling down the steps, matching exactly with the carved snake head at the base. Another unique feature is the sound reflection at the pyramid, where clapping produces an echo that sounds like a sacred bird, confirmed even by modern audio devices. In the sacred wells connected to underground water, archaeologists have found human remains and offering objects, proving that rituals were organized and large-scale. Even without mortar or modern tools, the ancient Maya built massive structures using stone blocks weighing several tons that fit together almost perfectly. The high level of accuracy in the design and its connection to astronomical cycles have made the site a long-term subject of scientific research. Easter Island is isolated in the Pacific Ocean, about 2,000 miles from the nearest land, making it one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. The island has hundreds of moai statues, each weighing dozens of tons, carved from volcanic rock and facing inland, placed across empty hillsides. Many theories try to explain how ancient people moved these statues without wheels or animals, including the idea of walking them with ropes pulled from both sides. Even with limited resources, the islanders created a complex society and controlled large construction projects without outside help, which remains an unresolved research topic. Lake Hillier is isolated on an island off southern Australia, with no land access, and can only be viewed by helicopter or special boats. The lake is known for its deep pink color, visible year-round, and was first documented in 1802 by British explorer Matthew Flinders. The cause of the pink water remains unclear, though some studies suggest it involves Dunaliella salina, algae and halobacteria. A major point of debate is that the water stays pink even when removed, unlike other salt lakes that change color when exposed to air or light. Aokigahara Forest sits on an old lava bed with rough terrain and thick tree cover that blocks sunlight, making navigation very difficult. Compasses often malfunction, and phones lose signal due to magnetic irregularities in the rock, causing people to get lost after just a few minutes. The entire area is nearly silent, with almost no sounds from birds or animals, creating a sense of complete stillness. Some sinkholes and cracks hidden under the leaves increase the risk of accidents for hikers. Surveys have found abandoned items like watches, bags, and notebooks with unknown messages. Historical records show this forest was once used during times of food shortage to abandon the elderly, and the strange magnetic field and real past events make it one of the most puzzling and curious places. Daintree Rainforest is one of the oldest surviving forests on Earth, estimated to be over 180 million years old, yet many parts remain completely untouched by humans. Due to its dense jungle terrain and complex waterways, large sections of the forest cannot be surveyed by standard satellites or ground equipment. Some plant species found here contain genetic structures never seen in any other ecosystem, raising questions about independent evolutionary origins. Scientists have also documented inconsistencies in reproductive and growth cycles of certain animals, though no clear explanation has been found. Several exploration missions have been halted midway due to signal loss and conflicting data reported by different research teams. Bialowieza Forest, located between Poland and Belarus, is one of the last remaining primeval forests in Europe, where trees thousands of years old coexist within a nearly untouched ecosystem. Although designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, most of the forest area on the Belarusian side is closed off, with entire zones completely restricted to foreigners and scientists. Motion-sensitive cameras installed in core zones have captured footage of unclassified animal species, but the images and data remain undisclosed. The border between the two countries within the forest lacks fixed control systems, leading to unexplained events such as disappearances and disrupted radio signals. The limitations in data and access make Bialowieza not only a vast biological reservoir, but also a blind spot in contemporary research.